June's first cousin. Diana Lewis is my name. And you talk about your Nana having a secret. My father teased your grandfather about that, and not knowing that I was going to come along shortly afterwards. So June and I were the afterthoughts, and with apologies to Lois, our sisters were several years older than we were, so we were ignored for most of the time that we were very young and partners in crime. And since Stacy called to tell me of June's passing, I've been thinking so clearly about all the memories and the things that we did. We ran around at wedding receptions of all our older cousins who were in uniform, and we ate without being scolded. We sat in the kitchen at Christmas dinners at Aunt Florence's house, where she cooked 30-pound turkeys, and nobody paid any attention to us because we were out in the kitchen. There wasn't room for us at the table. But we did all sorts of things, and I have so many memories of kindnesses of Aunt Florence and Uncle Vic while my family lived on Fifth Avenue. And mostly I remember picnics and times at the beach, Cultus Lake, White Rock, Stanley Park, and times, happy times on the water where June was constantly scolded about keeping her blouse on because she burned terribly in the sun. And you say she was naive, but she had a will of her own. And she didn't want to wear a blouse in the water. And one time she got a terrible burn. But there came a time in my life when I needed a home, and it was June who went to her parents and said, you know, I'll never see her again. And Aunt Florence and Uncle Vic gave me a home for 11 wonderful years. And I've thought so many times about that day, June 30th, 1948. And June said to me, I've cleared out 2.5 drawers in my bedroom for you, because there were 5 drawers in the chest of drawers. And I recall when she turned 13, she was given a gold watch for her birthday. And I thought that was the most wonderful thing, to receive a gift like that. And when I turned 13, my Aunt Florence, who said when I came to live with them that my underwear was always a mess and tattered and I needed new underwear, so all the time she was alive she gave me new underpants for my birthday. So I undid the parcel, and there were 3 beautiful pairs of underwear, and I lifted the pink ones out, and there was a blue velvet box. And I didn't dare think that it might be something like what June received, and I looked up and June was so excited. She said, open it, open it. And I did, and it was a gold watch. So I have always been grateful to June for the kindnesses that she showed me. She never once ever said anything to make me feel like I wasn't wanted, and I'm grateful to her for that. And I was thinking about a movie that's a very favorite of mine. It's called The River Runs Through It. And it's about a family that liked fly fishing. And in the end, one of the characters is an old man, and he said, all those that I loved in my youth are gone, and a river runs through it, and I'm haunted by waters. And I thought how true that is, that so many of the people that we have loved in our youth are gone for us, for Lois and me, but we have cherished memories of people like your mother and her kindnesses, and I think that's a wonderful legacy. She did touch my life, and I'm grateful for it. Thank you.
Comes old Hopalong Cassidy. I do have a voice. I think you can hear me better without this. I'm Ann Kennedy, Bert's wife, and we met June and your dad and Jim in JC's in the 50s and 60s. We lived in Vancouver, and the meetings were all out here in New Westminster, but we had quite a bit of activity together, and June was president this one year when we did the Royal City Tea, and we served tea and coffee to the Woodlands children that came in Saturday. We were down at the church there serving them coffee. And that following year, 2 years later, because it was in the 60s, we talked June and Eddie into coming to the national provincial convention, which was going to be held at Port Alberni. Bert was running for provincial president, and I was running for provincial JSEC president. So Eddie, your dad, and Jack Ross decided they were going to put on a skit for Bert, and they were wife number 1 and wife number 2. And June helped make the costume, and it was all in a Hawaiian theme. So it was cute that we had to drive in to get the costumes made for them at this thing. And that was the first convention your mother came to. I think your dad too, for that matter. But we did have some good times in JC's together. And then living in Vancouver, we moved to Coquitlam, but Mom and Dad were doing other things, and we just reacquainted with each other recently. 3 years, unfortunately, was some JC member's funeral, and we're just going to start setting up something. She had just come back from her time-sharing trip that she had, and we're going to have some time together and reacquaint ourselves. So it was wonderful. We did have our laughs, and you were the love of her life, my dear, very much so. And nice with your family and everything. She loved you all. Thanks for having this share time.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Vic and June. That's my sort of a confidant the last couple of years there. She'd come over to the house and she loved a good glass of wine, which I'm sure most of you know. And we got to talking, especially around last Christmas and a couple of times just the last couple of years that she got together with us, and I found out that the age group difference that she had and the age difference I have with my brothers sort of made us kindred spirits. A lot of the stuff she told me, Jeff, you said she was a bit of a prude there and such. No. She made me promise I couldn't tell you all the details. But she did refer to herself as the black sheep of the family. And we had a really good laugh about it. But the fact that I found out that there was a real true kindred spirit there, we talked a lot about it. Our relationships with our siblings. And I'd say I really got to know her a lot better in the last couple of years, understand her a lot more. And yeah, as far as a person that loved everybody, she did.